Greetings everyone! For this video assignment, which is Group 5, we chose Basic Needs Approach and Prima House as development programs. Here, in my part, I am going to explain what is Prima House program and why Prima House program falls into the Basic Needs Approach.
Basic needs approach is where the governments in the developing countries should focus on their own population's basic needs, first concern in development, and create both focused performance measure for each aspect.
Basic needs that are well known are food, clothing, and shelter. And in this case, shelter. Prima is a program that creates opportunities for those who is qualified to own a house with a cost that is affordable. Prima was launched on 4th of July 2011 by Malaysian Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak under the Prima Act 2012 in order to plan, develop, build and offer high-quality modern concept housing projects for the middle-income urban settlers. In 2014, there are 90% of Malaysians with occupation who are homeless, and this shows that with secure jobs cannot guarantee a shelter. This is because the price of the house is too much for them to bear. However, Malaysians are willing to take the chances due to high job opportunities and benefits that they might gain by migrating from town to the city. Who is involved in the decision making? They are National House Department, Syarikat Perumahan Negara Berhad, Lembaga Perumahan dan Hartanah Selangor, and etc.
Hello, I'm Adam. So for the justification of the approach used for this development program is the basic need approach. So on the issue of basic needs, this approach provides freedom and opportunities for the people to actually mobilize and increase their productivity. And speaking of that, in 2012, under the former Prime Minister Najib Razak administration has established a housing scheme called One Malaysia People Housing Program, which stands for Prima. So increasing urbanization results into people financial constraint, and it becomes an issue for people. It has resulted into high cost of living and inequality in the housing market. So this housing program is to cater to middle income workers to experience modern, sustainable and high quality lifestyle. So according to the Malaysian government in 2013, there are areas in Malaysia that has been identified to undergo vigorous stages of development, which are Nusajaya Johor, Alam Damai Ceras, Bukit Gelogol Penang, Kuantan Pahang, Negeri Sembilan and finally Seremban. So finally, the government of Malaysia realized that M40 or the middle income 40% is undeniable, has become the driving force of Malaysia's labour sector. Hence, the government realized the roles and contribution of this group of people towards the growth of Malaysia's economy. And in addition to that, according to the Department of Statistics Household Income Survey in 2012 has shown that approximately 80% of Malaysians earn below 6,594 ringgit per month, and this can only afford houses at price 300,000 ringgit. Housing affordability has been the key issue for middle income workers, and it has left them in a deadlock, and there is an imbalanced demand and supply for the housing sector. Hence, basic need approach is used for this development program because it involves the people in the economy. Providing such housing scheme increases productivity because it helps middle income workers to have affordable houses in urbanized area. Therefore, it helps to provide the basic need for middle income workers whom are in financial constraints. That is all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Islan bin Adenan. I will talk about the impact of basic needs approach to Prima. So how does the basic needs approach affect this Prima development project? If we look at Maslow's theory of needs, shelter is one of the basic physical needs for humans. This is why the Ministry of Housing and Local Government, through the National Housing Department and the private sector, have been working together to develop affordable housing projects as a response to this problem. The problem here is that most homes that are high quality and in strategic locations are indeed expensive and beyond the people's means. According to rough calculations, house prices in Malaysia at the end of 2018 on average reached more than 400,000 ringgit Malaysia, exceeding the average affordable income level in Malaysia. So, it is difficult for this middle income group to buy a house. The developers of Prima not only focus on the status of housing as affordable housing, but also focus on strategic locations for the construction of Prima houses so that the residents can have easier access to basic amenities and other public facilities such as health centers and education centers. It is clear that the basic needs approach does influence the implementation of the Prima program in Malaysia. Thank you.
So thank you Isran for your part. So my name is Kit and I will talk on comparison of different approach. Before that, I will tell the difference between Prima and other housing schemes. So Prima or Project Perumahan Rakyat Satu Malaysia is housing scheme that been implemented in Malaysia based on Property Guru 2018. For Prima, the age eligibility to own a house is 21 years and above, and the criteria required to apply for a house is not to own more than one property. Meanwhile, for the total income of household eligible to apply for a house is from 2,500 ringgit and 15,000 ringgit. The price for a house in Prima is from 100,000 ringgit until 400,000 ringgit. If compared with other housing schemes such as SRP, Skim Rumah Pertamaku, and PPAM, Perumahan Pejabat Awam, Malaysia, the difference can be seen in terms of the age that can apply for housing scheme such as SRP. That age that can apply is from 40 years and below, while for PPAM from 18 to 60 years. Based on Property Guru 2019, the criteria for applying for both housing schemes are the same, namely the purchase for the first house only. But for PPAM, it has certain condition that is only for government servants only. The price for an SRP housing scheme house is from 100,000 ringgit Malaysia to 500,000 ringgit Malaysia, and for PPAM it is 100,000 ringgit Malaysia until 300,000 ringgit Malaysia for a house just for a government servants only. Here it can conclude that Prima can be said better than other housing schemes. So next I will talk on different of basic need approach with other approach. Now I will explain what is different of basic need approach with other approach. Prima can be included as human basic needs since it provides house to citizen that in needs, which is from B40 to M40 for shelter, and it will suit basic need approach. Basic need approach lead to rethinking of how development in terms of improving standards and quality of life was to be achieved. In addition, the focus of development policies was to directly at the poorest in society rather than the macro level policies. While for human development approach, it more to its basic purpose is to enlarge people choice. This choice can be infinite and can change over time. While for human right based approach, it right based programming is a way of approaching development that set the achievement of human right as an objective of development. It not only defines the subject of development, but it also translates people's needs into rights, recognizing the human person as their active subject and claim holder. Right-based approach promotes the development of law institutions to ensure fulfillment of entitlements. That's all from me and my group. Thank you.